Hey, this is Matt Weaver from Brody Precision. In this video, we are going to be laying the groundwork for integrating with modern web services or devices that maybe make use of something called an API. And specifically in this video, we're going to look at what an API is, and then in future videos, we'll move on to making use of things like the HTTP client driver and the JSON driver within Niagara to properly make use of those APIs that are available to us. So let's jump in and take a look at what an API is. All right, so a little background on an API. You've probably heard this acronym before, but basically the idea of an API is essentially that it allows for communication between software that otherwise would not be connected at all. This allows you to access functionality in one piece of software from another, and historically this has been used since basically the beginning of computers. Some examples of the use cases in a typical computer scenario would be something like a video game that's running on your computer and the graphic engines behind the scenes that let your game interact with the hardware on your computer, your video card. So things like DirectX and OpenGL, if you're into that world, you've probably heard them mentioned before. In our world, in the Niagara world, this is how the communication between a station that you might have in a JACE or a supervisor talks to the National Weather Service to get your weather reports in. This is all done through an API interface that the National Weather Service gives out. And then this is also done in like an internal way where the API maybe isn't seen or available to external parties. Something like Facebook, their mobile app talks to the Facebook servers through an internal API. The application is going to pull the server or the mothership's API to get the latest statuses and things that should be on your feed, and then it's going to bring those back to your mobile app. And then the opposite will also happen where your mobile app, maybe you're making a post and you hit post, that post is going to go out to the Facebook servers, and then the Facebook servers will write that down and then push it out to other people. So why do we care about APIs? We're not programmers in the traditional sense. We're not like writing a lot of code typically. Why do we care about this kind of thing? Well, web APIs are becoming more and more common to see in the field, especially when you get devices that maybe are out in the field that aren't coming from companies that are typically in the building automation space. These could be meters from startups or things like that, where you may not see the traditional BACnet IP or Modbus TCP options available, but instead there's like a web API that you have to talk to at the company's servers somewhere else, not even locally in your building. So understanding these concepts allows you to now make use of those APIs in a way that doesn't require you to build out a driver or something like that within Niagara, and it gives you the flexibility to pull in the information that you exactly need. So, all right, we understand the background. What is a web API? What does it look like? So, I guess a little bit of a preface. The APIs that we're typically working with are going to be what are considered web APIs. We have a server and we have a client. Our client sends a request to the server. So that's important nomenclature to know, request. This typically uses a specific address or endpoint at the server where the server is expecting to get these requests. These requests can be made in a bunch of different forms. The two most common, the two that we're most likely to see, are going to be a get and a post. A get essentially just means that we're telling the server, hey, give me the information that you have about the specific resource. And a post is going to be, here's some new information that you don't know about. I want you to do something with it. So that's going to be the post. These requests have specific pieces of information inside them, typically, that the server is going to expect. So things like headers, these can be used for authentication or authorization, so that the server knows that you have access to be able to use the API. This is typically done with like things like an API key, which is a long string of letters and numbers that basically acts as a password for you to get in. And then your body, depending on what you're doing with the API, the body is going to be some kind of structured text that has a whole bunch of information that you're trying to send to the server. So after you send that request to the server is now going to respond. So you're going to get a response with the requested information. This is typically done, again, in a structured way. Nowadays, it's typically JSON, which is a structured way of sending data from devices to devices. And I'll show you that in a moment here with this example that we've got. And because it's structured, that makes it easier for us to pull it apart in something like Niagara using the JSON toolkit. Really, 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 probably the most important thing to take out of this is that if you have an API that you want to interact with, the most important thing that you should be looking for and asking about is the documentation for the API. If you don't have the documentation, you're basically going to be dead in the water, because APIs are different from vendor to vendor, from software company to software company. There is no industry standard API. They all are different because all devices that utilize the APIs are different, and you have different pieces of data and actions that are available to you with those pieces of hardware or software. Oops. So we've got an example here. This is there are way more complicated APIs than this. I pulled this one up because it's really straightforward and easy to digest if you don't know a ton about APIs. So there is a weather service that is available with an API called Open Weather Map. If you go to this URL, you can pull up the documentation on it. So let's do that. So we can see this is the documentation for our API, and it's telling us what the call is going to be. So this is our endpoint, and then it's showing us, okay, we have to feed in these pieces of information to the API as well in order to get what we want. So this particular call is going to be getting us the current weather data, and we can see that we've got these parameters, latitude, longitude, and app ID, that are required. So we've got to punch in the latitude and the longitude of where we want our weather from, and then we have to punch in an API key, which, if you read the little description here, you have to log into your account and pull up in order to get. And then the same thing with the latitude and longitude. They also have a way for you to get that based on your zip code, or you can pull that up from something like Google Maps. So that's just a general look at what that API call looks like. And then there's some examples down here. But if I go back in here, let me make this full screen again. I've got an example request here as well. So I'm going to that endpoint, looking at this latitude, looking at this longitude. I actually added in one of the optional parameters into this API call that is basically setting the units to be imperial, because by default, this API wants to give you Kelvin as the default units, which obviously is not so much of use to us. And then our API key, that's an important piece, because without that, the API is just going to come back and say, you don't have access. I'm not going to do anything for you. So now this is what our response looks like. We're going to get this piece of, this is JSON, and it's giving us a whole bunch of structured information. And then from within Niagara, we can make our way down this information and pull out specific parts. Okay, hey, I actually just care about the temperature. The temperature is always going to come in this format. So that means that I can just pull in temp, and there's my temperature. I could throw it into the JSON toolkit. It will spit out that value, and then I can add facets to it and then use it exactly as I would expect to in Niagara. So hopefully that was informative for you. Obviously, it's a lot to pack into a small video like this. There's a ton more information out there on the internet on this. I just wanted to lay some groundwork for us going forward because we have a cool project in the works that I'm going to be documenting here on the YouTube channel that makes use of APIs, and I would like to have that groundwork for you so you have a general idea of what it is. And obviously it's good to know what your options are from Niagara and making use of some of these newer devices that are more like web focused or IoT focused that make use of APIs. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. If you have any comments, leave them down below. And as I mentioned before, we're hiring at Brody Precision. So I'll leave a link to the positions that are open. We've got sales and engineering positions open. So that link is down below as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.